When it comes down to it, music is everybody. It's inside everybody, you know.
If you talk with Cory Udell about his interest in music, you'll probably see him smile quite a bit. But smiling hasn't always come easy for Cory. When he was 21, he developed a serious and painful dental condition. Even though he was working, he couldn't afford insurance and didn't have enough money to pay for a visit to the dentist.
It started out with aches and pains, toothaches, bad toothaches. Started going to the emergency room, and they'd just tell me, well, here's some painkillers for now. That did nothing really, and that I needed to get to a dentist. Well, without any medical coverage, I couldn't go to the dentist. It became to the point where my teeth were falling out. I couldn't smile. I was in pain all the time. Somebody gave me a voucher to go to the health department to get a tooth pulled. You were allowed one, I believe. I waited all day in line, got in there, and they pulled 2 teeth. I was the only person they did all day, and was told that I needed all my teeth removed at that point, that I had an infection, and that it was growing spreading into my bones. I still couldn't cover any bills to get all my teeth removed or anything, so that went on for another year. After about a year, the pain was so bad that at night I would shut myself in my bedroom, no lights, no sounds, no anything, just to try and relieve some of the pain. At that point though, I had thought that it was just going to be that way the rest of my life. I didn't really think I'd ever be able to get it fixed. My girlfriend at the time came up to me and said, hey look, there's this conference with this lady, and it's about us being poor and maybe getting some help. And I said, yeah, and I kind of brushed it off. Well, a while down the road, she says, well, this Saturday, you know, we're going to that thing. And I said, well, I don't know about that. That's on Saturday. I didn't want to go. That was my day off. That was my time to relax. But I decided to go and see what it was all about. We arrived there, and there's all sorts of people I don't know. There's people walking around eating food. There's babies screaming, all sorts of stuff going on. And it's 8 o'clock in the morning early. I was not happy to be there at all. So things get settled down. They set us down, and Donna starts talking and whatnot. And as she starts talking, I'm realizing that really I have a connection with what she's saying. I really had an understanding for the people she was talking about. I wasn't just the only person out there. There was more than just me. And that was pretty special. I was pretty happy I went at that point. But still skeptical, really skeptical. I got to meet some of the navigators at the end of that program. I had one navigator tell me that she was going to call me. She was going to call me and try and help me with my teeth, and that we were going to get something taken care of. I was excited for about 5 minutes with that. I pretty much walked out and thought, well, that lady's never going to call me. I've heard this before. I've seen this story before, that this is just to get me to shut up and go away. Well, about 4 days later, a navigator called me and surprised me. It shocked me quite a bit that somebody actually called and actually cared and paid attention to what I said. From that point, things started moving really fast. You know, I had to get all sorts of paperwork together that I didn't understand. But the cool part was I had my navigator to work through with me and make sure I understood what the paperwork meant and what I was giving to people and what I didn't have to give that people asked for. That's a lot of things that I didn't know. I didn't know how to work with these people to get the help. My navigator at that point also started introducing me to more people. Started working on my networking. Networking is so big and huge in importance to life, and I didn't realize that. Now that I know that, I've met all sorts of new people. They have helped me out a whole bunch, and I've even helped them. It works both ways. So it's a really cool thing to have a network of people that you get to meet. Once I started building my networking, the paperwork was getting rolling for my dental work. We started getting me in, and when I went to the dentist it was about 6 months after the Opportunity Conference. They said, okay, we're getting you in for surgery. This is happening. At that point, I got really nervous. I didn't know if I was going to be stuck with a bill. I didn't know if I was going to be stuck with a surgery with no anesthetic, nothing to make the pain go away. I didn't know what I was walking into. It was a very nerve-wracking experience for me. After my surgery, I lost a lot of weight, so much so that I had to go into the doctors and talk to them about it. They were kind of worried about it, but I was getting help. They were taking care of me. They weren't just turning their back to me. So the more as this process went on with my navigator, the more I was learning that if I put my trust in that person, they were going to help me. They weren't going to do everything for me, but they would help me, lead me down the path to get where I needed to go. And that was what was important. I wasn't relying on somebody so much as I was just kind of looking back and getting some suggestions from somebody. After a couple months after my surgery, I was putting weight back on, got to go and have my teeth molded. That was the greatest experience of my life, to this point I could say, because I was able to, after 4 years of not smiling and hiding my face, I could smile. I could walk up to somebody and smile and shake their hand and say, hey, and not wonder, are they looking at my mouth? What do they think? So that was probably one of the greatest times in my life. I am going to school now. I'm working on getting a career started. I work full-time right now, and that is in part due to my navigator giving me some networking, showing me how to work with the paperwork, and showing me how I can do something. All I have to know is the skills to talk to somebody about it. So I really am impressed with the Navigator program. They have showed me and many others trust and the loyalty that you don't get anywhere else. They also have been there for me, and I have been able to be there for them, and it goes both ways. And that's the greatest part about it, is I get to be involved with the community as well as the community helping me out. I just really am glad that I took that time on that Saturday and went and bit the bullet and said, well, let's try something new. If I hadn't have done that, I probably wouldn't be sitting here now. I probably would have some other issues to deal with. So I'm really thankful for the Navigator program and what they do for me and what I can do for them.